This video is sponsored by Rewarded View. Are you tired of just scrolling through your phone without making any profit from it? Well, Rewarded View is for you. If you have an Android phone, then head over to rewarded-views.premier.ai, download the app, and start earning today. All you have to do is create your accounts, watch videos, and get paid for each and every video that you watch. So what are you waiting for today? Download Rewarded Views and earn the smart way.
Hey guys, how are you doing? How's your day going? And if you're just starting, how was your night? Hope you are having an amazing and a beautiful day today. This is day 2 of Data Decoded, your roadmap to data analysis, data science, perfection. So in our last video, we covered an introduction to what data analysis is. We touched on the differences between data analysis and data science, when to use or how data analysis is performed, real life applications. And we went a step further and did an introduction to Excel basics, understanding the spreadsheet environment, doing a little analysis with Excel, that is data cleaning, and in this video, we're going to be working with formulas and functions. There's so much more we're going to cover, but we're going to start with Excel functions. I did a bit of a touch up on it in the last video, where I kind of like explained the differences between when you have formulas and when you have functions. I told you formulas when you're working with arithmetic basics like a plus b, a1 plus b1, multiplication, subtraction, stuff like that. But functions are where you now start using predefined functions by like actually calling a function. So for those of you who don't know what a function is, if you are not familiar with programming, a function is a block of reusable code. So it's when you have, let's say I have a box, and within that box I pack in a bunch of actions or um things I want to be executed, right? But I'm going to have to access it multiple times within my program instead of having to always call it like this long list of maybe 30, 50, 1,000 lines of code and always having to call it whenever I want to use it. I could instead, on one place, write those 30 lines of code, enclose it within a function, and then any other place I need to call it, I would now call that function. It helps in modularizing your code, making your code less complicated, easier to read, easier to understand, and actually saves memory. So we're going to start with some functions. I don't think you need me to touch on formulas again, but let's just come over to our data set. All of this will be provided. Also, in the last video, I did say if you have any questions you want me to answer, leave, like there's going to be QR code on the screen. So just scan that and it's going to take you to a docs folder where you can fill out a form and ask your question. You can also provide, like if it's a source code issue, you can provide the source code, provide pictures, and I would answer it. But another thing I did say, because all these videos are pre-recorded, obviously. So I would have a community that I will set up shortly, so you can have your questions there. But for now, all questions will be answered on my YouTube channel, that is Chibudom Obasi. So you can just head over there and cross your fingers, hope that your question has been answered. So let's start with, let me just do a quick brief on arithmetic formulas. So if you're just working with formulas, first thing when you're calling, whether it's a function or a formula, first thing to do is always have your equal to sign. So now if let's say we want to add these two cells together, we have do something called referencing the cell. So just making reference to the cell that the action is going to be executed on. So today I'll just click on it, and now we're going to, let's just do addition, click on it, press enter, and the cell has been referenced. But now if we wanted to do this using a function, the way you can do this is by using the sum function, by just calling sum, parentheses, reference the two things you want to add, and it sums it for you. So when you like read, it's the same thing, but what if you had like a larger set and you wanted to add everything? Our data set here is very small, but let's say if we wanted to add multiple things, if we want to use normal formulas, we have to be doing plus plus plus, but with this you can just cover everything and get the total sum of it without having to stress yourself, so it's more convenient. You can go back to our previous videos where I think we did touch on some other formulas, but like I said, if you want to check out on any formula, you can always come to the formula bar and just find out more for yourself, or you can use Google. Google is the answer to everybody's problem. But I have some ones I want us to talk on here. So I've done some. So next one, let me just write out the list of everything I want us to cover. So I don't want to miss anything. So we have average. This one here is sum. So I've already touched on sum. We're going to do sum. We're going to do average, count, if, that is conditional, VLOOKUP, index. So these are just some things I want us to cover. So let's just get into it, shall we? So average is the same thing. You know what it means to get the average of the number, sum of n divided by n. It's going to be equals to all functions are written in all caps. So average, I'll just select what we want to get an average from. As going to provide average for us. Count is just going to tell you the total. Is it mode? It should be total mode. No, mode is not so correct. Total count of everything. Just how many values are in there. But this count now is a bit tricky. It's a tricky one in it. So when you want to use count, the way the count function is going to be, okay, let me just show you an example. So when you're counting, there are two counts functions. So we have the normal count, which we can use to count numerical values, and we have count A, which you can use to count non-numerical values. So let's say I was to do count what am I doing, forgive me. Let's do count, and let's just count how many so it's going to give us 3. Let's try this count again, and let's count. We're going to get 0 because those are non-numerical values. So in order to count this, we're going to now change this from count to count. It's not really that tricky, it's just pretty much straightforward. What else do you want to cover? If lookup. So if is a conditional statement. So the way conditional statement works is you have the rule that must be followed, and then an action to carry out if that rule is true. So let's do something. So let's just convert our formula bar here, and we're going to click on if. So just say okay. So now it's going to give us first logic test. This kind of like the rule of thumbs, what we want to test. So we can say if. So what we're just going to do is give it like the test condition. So we can say if this is, let's say, less than this. So we can see like it's true. So what do we want to happen if it's true? Maybe we can just have it to print out true. You can also just pass in that formula here. So when we're going to start doing nested conditionals, we'll jump into that. Or we can just pass it to say false. And it's going to give us true. In our last video, we touched on if error. That's when you have like a formula action you want to be carried out, and if an error occurs, this is what you want to be done. So you can just head over there and check it out. But now let's go into VLOOKUP. So the same way we access the if here, but the VLOOKUP, let's just come over here and check for VLOOKUP. Alright. So this, don't allow it confuse, is a pretty much straightforward something. So just kind of like think of this as a search value. So you have lookup value. What do you want to look for? Let's just look for a value. You can manually put in the value there, you can put in the text there, but I'm just going to look for 20, right? Next is going to be table array, where you want to search for that stuff. And now we're going to have the column index. So it just searches a specified value in the leftmost column of a table and returns a value in the current row for a column specified. is the row number in the table array which the matching value should be returned. The first row of the value table is row 1. So that means these are row 1, these are row 2. Just put it and return it at our row 2. Then range lookup here, you can either say true or false. If you say false, that means you're looking for an exact match. If you put true, it mustn't be an exact match. It's not compulsory to fill, but let's just put false. Alright, and we'll press OK. And yeah, so let's try that again. Let's look for, instead here, let's look for something else. Let's look for 25. Okay, so we have this first row here as the column where we're using like kind of like we'll search. So okay, what happens is we have our general table, right? Let me just put it so we can see it. So first we'll have a value we're looking for. Take for example 20, or let's use one 15 since these two values are different. Then we'll have the table where we want to search for that value, which is this whole thing. So we'll have the first row and we'll have second row. So since here in output that we want to return the second column, it's not going to take this first column as kind of like should we collect the table header probably, and here is now kind of like the return value. So if let's say we were to search for 20, that first time we didn't get an error because we have 20 on both sides, right? But if take for example now we was to search for something like 25 that doesn't exist on this row, we now retrieved an error because it's supposed to search here and return its value, its equivalent value from the same side at this far. Dig. So it searches here for the value which we have up here, like as under this arbitrary here, and then it returns the relative value from the second row. Um, yeah, there's still another one which is the L lookup. So it remains X lookup. So let's come over to the function helper. Let's search for our X lookup. So you can also input all these stuffs manually. I'm just doing so you can have like a better visual representation. Almost it's almost the same thing, it's just I guess X lookup is a bit more advanced. So X lookup, what you want to look for, let's go 15. Lookup array, that is where you want to look for that 15. Return array, where the return value should be from, and what you want to happen if it's not found. Let's just pass an error, and this one is the match mode. So let's just leave that. Press OK. So we searched for 15, we got 25 return. So it's almost the exact same thing. It's just I guess much better to understand and to get a grasp. Now we have something called absolute reference. Take for example here, we want to calculate total sales. Our total sales is going to be, let's say 10. So let's come equal to 10, right? Plus this, and it's going to give us 20. I know based on our last video, if you want to just run down the exact same formula along this line, just double tap at the edge and you're just going to add this to here, add this to here. What if take for example now these cells were blank, right? I mean technically it's it's multiplication, so I'm not going to get any error. But the value is just printing out the exact same value from here. One way we can fix that is by having a default. Maybe we want to have like a base value. We can say for example quantity sold is always going to be 10. So we'll come over here. 10 is B2, so we'll just come over on this B2, click on it, and so that when we tap on that stuff, B2 runs through down to the end. We'll just press F4 and you notice a dollar sign appears around B2. So this is now our absolute value. So if we come down, it's now going to add 10 to everything, and now we have 35 and 30. So just do with that as you wish. I guess when you start working with certain types of data set, you're going to see it come in handy. So in our last video, we did some text manipulation, working with things like proper to make the cover like capitalized functions for developers, making the first letter of each word, capital letter, kind of like how you would write your name and your surname. We worked with the trim. We worked with the lower. Lower's alternative is up above. Let's do text join. So where do we have a bunch of text? Let's just come here. This one is just this stuff is going to look a bit scattered. Let's use our function helper text join. So this is just concat two text together. There's also a concat function though, but I feel this is better. So the limiter is what you want to use to join it. So we just want to have a space between them. The what you want to do to if a cell is empty, so if you want to ignore it, you can just put true. So if the cell is empty, we'll ignore it. But if you put false, then you include that empty cell. And this is going to be the first text we want to join. And this is going to be the second one. I can just keep adding as much as your heart desires. And just quantity sold date. It's nothing special, nothing fancy. Now we have the right, mid, and left function. This usually want to get like characters from a certain angle from so let's just come over here and let's say we want to get it from the right. We're just going to say equal to RIGHT, then the text where we want to get it from, and we're going to have the number of characters we want. Let's just go 5. So from the right, we're now going to have, you can see there's a space in front of you. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the space. You can do it for mid, you can do it for left. When would you need something like this? Let's say, for example, you have an email address, right? And you want to remove the username from the email address, excluding the domain. But another thing, you can never really know how long the email is. And if you want to, okay, let's get it from the right. Then again, we have Outlook, Gmail, Yahoo, or maybe it's a customized domain email stuff for business. You can never say for certain. There's another function I'm going to introduce, which will allow us to cut from that at function. So we have a find function. So what the find function does is just equal to find. So you put what you want to find. So let's find sold. And where do you want to look for sold? And it's going to kind of like tell you the position at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's going to tell you where it's going to be found. So now if we merge this together, let's just create an email address here. This is my email address again if you want to contact me. Okay. So we have an email address now. And let's say we want to now get my username from this email address. We are going to do this firstly is let's get from the left this time because it's the username we want. Next thing we're going to choose what the place wants to get it from. Now we're going to now choose the amount of characters we want. So the amount of characters is now going to be this value here. So you can see here the value because you just clicked it. So you just clicked it. Let's write it manually. So we're going to just pass in the find function. It's going to be find. And the way the find function works is that we're going to first choose what we want to find. We want to find the @ sign. Where is mine? I want to find this @ sign from this G2 also. We have a parenthesis here. I'm going to add like a -1 so we can just remove the @ symbol. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If you have any questions, feel free to fill the form. If you want to donate and support us, feel free to do so also. Then like I said, if you still want more formulas, you can always go to the formulas bar, and as we progress we'll come across more. But if let's say you finish your program and you want to view all the formulas because you want all the formulas to show, you just press Control and this squarely, so I'll put on the screen so you can see it. And you can see it's just going to show you all the places where formulas were used, so you can see all the formulas you used in your program. Okay, and yeah, that should be all for this video. Our next video, we're going to be touching pivot tables. Pivot table is kind of like a fun. So if I enjoy pivot table, you'll learn like the best that I did in Excel, so you don't want to miss that video. maybe I will upload the pivot table to YouTube. So if you are watching most of our videos, this is an Udemy course. So most of our tutorials are not going to be available on YouTube, but the cost is very, very affordable. So you can always head over there and get it. For setting of the tutorials, like maybe it is 16 parts. So maybe we'll just upload like I'm mute for 7 days. Bye guys.